Dr. J, is all debt kind of equal, or are there good kinds and bad kinds of debt?
All right, Katie, tell me what a good debt is.
I would think a good debt would be like maybe your student loans because it's helping you get a better job, or maybe your house because it is really hard to pay off a 30-year mortgage. You will probably be in debt for a while with the house.
Okay, those are the two most common you hear: good debt and bad debt. Student loan and house is good debt. It's still debt, okay? We owe $1.7 trillion in student loans. And people say, well, you have to do it. You have to take out a student loan to go to school. I went from no degree to a PhD, and my entire bill was $8,800. Okay? You can do it differently. If you cut debt out as an option, it's possible to go to school for very little, or for free, or to have it covered. Let me give you an example. You can actually test out of almost 2 years of school and have the test paid for. There's a website called modernstates.org that will actually allow you to take CLEP exams. It actually prepares you for them, and they pay for the exams, and you get 2 years of school for free. People go, well, but I have to get a student loan. No, you don't. That's 100% free. But what's happened is it's a marketing thing. It's like good and bad debt. It's like going to the store, and they go, these are healthy cookies. I don't know exactly what a healthy cookie is. Okay, either it's something that does not taste good, or it's just marketing. If I'm going to have a cookie, I'm having the good cookie. All right, that's just how it works. So when you see good and bad debt, we're just justifying making a purchase with stuff we don't have. Now let's look at the house. The first thing is, we got a video on when should you buy a house and not. The first thing is, you don't have to buy a house. It's not required. We talk about the life script, and life script is, you go to school, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, you buy a house. Well, we're here in the child-free world. So you've already chosen, or by your life, not to have kids. You can also choose, or by your life, not to have a house. You can also, believe it or not, buy a house with cash. Like, you can actually save up your own money and buy a house. Now, that's really weird to some people, but it is. You can get a mortgage. It's kind of something that's part of American life. Our housing prices right now are stupid expensive. I mean, there are some regions I don't even have a clue how you pay for housing, never mind even with a mortgage. That's a separate discussion. But when you get this kind of good or bad debt, what I'm trying to get you to think about is just, it's all debt. So how do I cut that out of my life? It's one of those things where people talk about it. Well, hey, I can leverage this. Oh boy. Leverage means I'm borrowing on my future. And they go, well, the mortgage is a lower rate. Right now, the mortgage rate is 5-6%. You're still paying 5 or 6% to a bank for something you don't own. And I'm going to challenge people. They go, well, I'm building equity. Well, there's no guaranteed building equity on the house. You're just renting it from a bank instead of a landlord. That's the difference. So what happens is you need to shift your thought around debt. Yeah, I'll use debt if I'm forced to. It's a need. House, yep. My roof caved in and I have to replace the roof. Yep. Do I need debt to buy a car? No. Well, we're going to buy cash. I can buy a junker and it still works. Katie was talking about her car. She runs it for 10 or 12 years or forever. We can buy hers when she's going to turn it in. But you can do things without debt. This good and bad, if you get stuck in this good and bad, the question is, whose voice is in the back of your head saying this is good? The truth is, it's a marketing service that's trying to sell you something. What do you think, Katie?
I'm going to have to think about this one because it's very opposite of what I would normally have thought.
So you're going, hey, I got to take a student loan out, right?
Well, okay, so I went through my master's degree and actually didn't take any student loans out. But it also took me a lot of years to get through my program. And so I do wonder if I had taken out student loans and got through my program faster, would I have been making more and been able to pay off the debt? Like, how did it all work out,
So the math on that does not work. There's actually, if you go online, there's a couple of ROI, return on investment calculators for school. And if you actually look at those, you just won't go to college because the math on degrees, unfortunately, doesn't work. And I say this as somebody who's, I taught at UConn, I taught at Yale. I've been a professor. I've done different things. My wife's a professor, so I can bash the university system because I've been there. Remember, when you talk about degrees, a BS, bullshit, MS is more shit, and PhD is piled higher and deeper in it. Apologize for the language, but that's kind of what it works out. Here's the thing. If you're talking about math equation, I would have told you, don't do the master's. Go get a trade. Go work on solar panels is a big one right now with the EV stuff. You'd actually make more money. But that's not what you're talking about. You're talking like, I want something different for my career and life. So would you rather have a loan right now?
Well, no, I'm glad I don't have a loan, but so it took me to do my associate's and bachelor's degree. I worked full time and took part-time classes, and it took me a really long time, and I was working low-wage jobs in the meantime because I didn't have my bachelor's degree. So it was hard to get something that would pay well. So that's what I'm saying. If I got done quicker, got a job that paid well, would I have been able to pay off the debt instead of making payments every month on the classes?
All right, Katie, I'm going to really challenge you here. I went from no degree to a bachelor's in 9 months. And I worked full time. And that was the only one I paid money for, $8,800. Okay. My point is, there's ways to do it. They call it hack schooling. There's ways to do it. That was at a state college, nothing fancy, but enough to get the bachelor's degree because I actually wanted to get my master's degree, and you need a bachelor's to get a master's. My point is, if debt is not an option, you find other ways. Your way of working through it is the way to do it. It is the right answer. We could have done the math and you felt like you could have, been faster or made more money. The debt on the student loan would have actually set you back further. Now, we all look back and go, well, what if? What if I did? Well, I'll tell you, those people who have $100,000 in student loans right now are not looking at what if. They're going, what the heck do I do? Because they had a mortgage payment. And if they don't do something about it, it's going to double. A student loan, 6% on average interest, will double every 12 years. So if you wait, it's going to be double. And now you have to pay it and pay it and pay it. So where I'm going with this, I hear you, Katie. There might be options to go, well, this will get me there faster. Is it a better math equation? Is it a better return on investment? Probably not. So that's where we're going to have this balancing act, because debt allows you to do things that you may not be ready for. And it may look like it's a good answer, but when we do the total cost of the debt, total cost of the money, it may not.
So basically what I'm hearing from you is there really is no such thing as good debt.
You could argue with me, and I will go with some of the housing stuff and mortgage being okay debt. I'll give you okay. Is it good? Well, you know what? Mortgage is a great example. It allows people to buy a lot more house than they probably should buy. It's just, it's a math equation. Now, the other problem with debt, once you get on the gerbil wheel of debt, it's really hard to get off. So I'm saying, okay, shift the way you're thinking about debt. It's a last resort only for needs, only for things I absolutely need, like to live, not for wants. That really nice house that I want, not where I should be putting the mortgage. I need housing. Yeah, let's do the mortgage. But it's not good. It's just making me be able to have a roof over my head.